everyone, my name is Jennifer Davenport. I'm an interior designer, educator, and store owner. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to decorate a mantle for the holidays. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell. It'll tell you when I have a new video out, and also go follow me on Instagram at Jennifer Decorates. Before we get started, if you're somebody who loves Christmas, I have a Christmas course. In this Christmas course, I'm going to teach you everything about Christmas design, even the business side of it. So if you love Christmas and you would love to do Christmas designing for others and make money doing it, then this course is for you. So how does it work? Well, typically, your very first Christmas job will run about $500, and your business will snowball from that point on. People will see the designs you did when they have their Christmas party, or maybe you did a mailbox swag and everybody in the neighborhood is like, oh, who did that? Every year, your business will grow and grow. We did a Christmas job this year that was $10,000. So the course is pre-recorded, and once you purchase it, it's yours. So maybe next year you're like, ooh, what did Jennifer say about that? You just go back and watch it. And another thing, you can make payments on this course. It is $200. You will get that money back with your first Christmas design. So where do you find my course? You can go to Jennifer Davenport Courses, or I'll leave a link in the description of this video. I am in my store and I am going to create a Christmas mantelpiece. I'm actually going to sell it, but I want to show you how do I do that? How do I put it together step by step? Let me give you a few tips before we get started into the design, because that'll make things a lot easier. Number one, when you are wanting to put your garland on the mantle, especially if you're swagging it like I'm going to do in this design, you need to make sure that that garland is secure on the mantle. If you have a wood mantle, I have one at home that's really old, so Scott doesn't mind if I put a little nail in it. But another thing you can do is a very large command hook going backwards, so that when you put that garland in, it hooks into that command hook. Very easy. Another tip is this. I don't know if you know this or not, but garlands on the end typically will have, see this little hook right here? And that's how you can hook each garland in, whether you're doing a mantle or if you're doing a staircase. It makes it a lot easier. Now, when you're getting ready to put your lights in, you need to really take the time. It is not fun. In fact, I hate doing it. But you really need to take the time to tuck in the lights so that you don't see some of the connectors and so much of the wire. One last tip, if you're building a house, have your builder put an outlet on your mantle or on the side, whether your fireplace is inside or outside, so that you have a place to plug in your Christmas lights. Another thing too is, while you're tucking these lights in, take a step back and make sure you can see all of the little bulbs evenly throughout the garland. Also, when you're going through your garland, fluff it out as big as possible. I'm going to be adding a lot to this garland, but maybe you're keeping your garland more minimal, so get it fluffed out. It'll look much better. For this mantle design, I'm going to create a large bow right here and a large bow on the other side. And I'm going to put other fillers in here. I'm also going to hang some wicker bells. So I'm going to start with that first. I have these 3 adorable wicker bells, all different sizes, and I'm going to just wire them together and then attach them to my garland. Now, by the way, all of the items I'm using today are things you can find in my store. So if you're in Tennessee and near Nashville, come see me. So to attach these bells, I used floral wire, 18 gauge, best gauge to use, and I wanted the littlest one to sit kind of on top. But when I wired it to the garland, I did not just wire it to a loose branch. I don't want it to fall. I actually wired it to that center, thicker wire of the garland. And I'm ready to do the other side. Here are the two ribbons that I'm going to use in this design, beautiful gold and a mocha brown, and then a little bit smaller of a ribbon in this beautiful dusty blue. You may have seen this in my last video. I added this to a tree. I love it. I'm going to start by making 4 loops, and I'm going to make pretty big loops. Pinch in the middle with your fingers. I know my hands look like I got in a cat fight, but keep your loops the same size. That's key to a beautiful bow. And there's the 4th loop. I'm going to take that floral wire and wire it together and attach it to my garland, and then I'll trim the tails. Gotta bring it in here, and actually I'm going to attach it to the bells because I've got them securely hooked to the garland. Gonna trim the tails. I call it kite tail, but one of my subscribers said they're also called fishtail. So whatever you want to call it, fold it in half, and you're gonna cut from the fold down. Or in this case, I'm gonna hold my scissors and cut up. Beautiful. Good pair of scissors cuts your ribbon straight. For the next tail, I'm not gonna do it even. I'm gonna make it just a little bit longer, folding in half and cutting towards the fold. Beautiful. Now to do the blue. I'm going to do smaller loops because I really want that big ribbon, the larger ribbon, to show. And so my loops will be a little smaller. Kind of take a look, make sure you're even, and then keep going. And one more. Now for this one, I'm going to take the ribbon and I'm going to create a little teeny loop in the middle, pulling it a little tighter. That way when I use the wire to secure it, you're not going to see it. So bring your floral wire in. Apron is so handy when you're doing Christmas. Apron with pockets. And bring that wire, and again, twist it. You really, really want to get this as tight as possible. And then I'm going to attach this to the garland. All right, fluff your bow. Get that centered right. Beautiful thing about working with wired ribbon, you can just shape it and it stays in place. All right, I am going to trim the tails. Pull that tail under there. And for this one, I'm going to do it different. I'm just going to do it at an angle, a little bit shorter. And same thing with this one, at an angle. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. You could leave it just as it is. It's beautiful. But I love to add a lot of picks, and I'm going to give a little bit of a snow look to this by adding some picks that have snow on them. So I'm going to secure the little branches that I do put in here with a little bit of floral wire, both because I'm selling it and I want people to be able to store it easy and it won't fall apart, but you could do that as well if you're worried about it coming apart. When you're adding your stems to your garland, don't just stick it in and kind of leave it there. Take your garland and pull some of the stems through it. This is what gives a more natural and realistic look. It's kind of woven into your garland. Now once you've hit that center point of your garland, it's time to switch directions with your stems. All of my stems are going this way. Once I get to the middle, they now all need to go that way. Next, I'm going to add these gold snowy pine cones. Now, even though I have a whole stem, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip off little branches. And this is one of the things, like if you're out shopping at a craft store, they'll have the aisle in the floral aisle, they're long stems. Then there's picks, so you could do either one, but sometimes you get more bang for your buck when you purchase a long stem. So I'm just going to clip a few of these pieces and I'm just going to start tucking it in all throughout the garland. One of the things that will make your bow, and whether you're using bells, whatever you're using, but look a lot better is, see we have a little bit of a gap in there? When you find a small stem and you tuck that into that gap, what it does, it not only hides the hole, but it also marries the bow more into the bell, and it just looks so much more beautiful. So just like with the snowy stem, once you've reached that half point on your garland, it's time to flip the direction to go the other way. The last stem I'm going to add is this leaf stem. It has a little bit of glitter on it, and I'm just gonna, again, just kind of put it through the garland. If your garland has pine cones attached to it, they have attached those pine cones with wire. Utilize that. So I've just stuck this stem in here, and see this pine cone is wired. So I'm gonna take that pine cone and go around that stem, and that will keep that stem in place. Now, don't be afraid to pull and tug on your stems gently, but they're wired too. And that way when you're putting them in that garland, pull on them, let them spread out. And again, pull that garland back through so that it all looks like it's mingled together naturally. So the last thing I'm gonna add are beautiful glass icicles. Now don't forget, when you're putting your icicles on, don't hook them to your stems. They might fall off. Make sure you hook them to the actual branches of your garland. All right, I've got more Christmas videos headed your way, and I hope you have a wonderful day.